Is the story of a man staring.
Hello there everyone, I'm Crazy Caleb, and today we're taking a look at a fairly difficult module, but one that isn't really that hard to be fairly honest. Brainf. You can call it whatever you want, brain fart, I'm not going to say it, but this is what the module looks like. It has 3 dashes, and this is what it is. So what exactly is Brainf in this case? Brainf works by moving a pointer on a one-dimensional array. Now, first off, what the hell is one dimension? One dimension is essentially a line. Like, a line. That's literally all there is to it. There's no other way of describing it better than that. It is one line. However, each specific spot has a specific value of a specific cell. So, it will change the value of a specific cell by either adding or subtracting to that specific cell, moving to the right or left, or completely making a new value based off of other commands. So the pointer will start at position 0 and can't move on to negative positions or make negative numbers. All values set to 0 at the start. So we're currently at position 0, and our first value of the cell is 0, and we're going to leave it at that. So now, let's go over a couple commands. Obviously, this is a boss module, so each stage we're going to get something new. In our first stage, we happen to get a plus. But let's go over each symbol. So, the way you can describe these is greater than or less than based off of math and whatnot. This is our greater than symbol, and this is our less than symbol of our plus and our minus. These are actually two symbols, the beginning and end of a bracket, a full stop or a period, as many of you know, and a comma, which is going to be very important later. So the greater than symbol moves the pointer to the right by 1, or right 1 cell in this case. The moves to the pointer left by 1 unless the pointer is at position 0. Now, why exactly is this important? Why does it put it in parentheses? I'll come back to that in a second because there is another rule, go figure. The plus sign increments the selected value by 1, and in this case our selected value is at position 0, so it's right there. So, and the minus decrements the selected value by 1 unless it's 0. Now, what exactly are these things meaning? Going negative. If you're about to go negative to a negative position, you're going to go right instead of left. And if you're about to create a negative number, add 1 instead of subtracting. It goes back up to this rule, it can't move on to negative positions or make negative numbers, so simply what it's just saying is perform the opposite command in this case. It's as simple as that. So, the brackets. Anything inside the brackets is looped until the selected value at the end of the loop equals 0 in this case. So, inside and out will loop the brackets until the selected value is 0. Now, however, what happens if the selected value cannot reach 0? Modifications are here are important. The original rules of looping still apply, however, to prevent values from exceeding the assigned memory slot, basically what it's saying essentially is going on infinitely or going out infinitely, which is very much possible. Each loop can be repeated no more than X amount of times, where X is the number of batteries plus 1. In this case, we have 2 batteries. So, 2 plus 1 equals 3. We cannot loop more than 3 times. That's how many times we'll be able to loop. And the repeated act of looping is referred to the count of moving back from the start of the loop. So let's say we had a minus in this case, and we had to shift to the right by 1 in this case. So we would be able to do that 3 times, or until at the end of the loop it does equal a 0 value, for example. So we can only go through this 3 times. However, that is not in our case, so I'm going to come back to these 2 rules later when they pop up because they are important. But I will go over the full stop because the full stop, what happens is you have to output the current value of the selected value, or cell in this case. So after all modules are solved, a full stop will appear on the screen and the stage number will disappear. When this happens, you must input the value of the current cell you are on, modulo 100 if it ever happens to get that really high. Then press OK to solve the module. However, a full stop may appear before then. We would do the same thing as if we were solving it for all other modules, except we're just going to do it on the value of the current cell, like before. That's what the full stop is. We'll come back to the comma later because it is an important rule. So currently, right now, it is showing us a plus symbol, which increments the selected value by 1. So we are currently at position 0. So this selected value will become a 1. And like so, that's all we have to do. And now let's solve some other modules. Aha, now we're going onto a bracket. A bracket, we really can't do much until the end of the bracket happens, because you don't know what you're going to be doing until you get to the end of the bracket. So let's solve another one. This is a minus. And next up, we're going to do this one.
He had defeated the machine.
I'm going to shift to the right by 1 in this case. It would be nice if I could see something. Solve another repository.
Do you actually want to stay alive?
If I can solve something here. Alright, there we go. And our bracket is still occurring, so let's pay attention to that. Divisible numbers. Yes, that is what we are. Wow, this is a rather long bracket, I must say. Wow, it's going on for a while. Sorry, I had to. For those of you who do know me, I had to put this on here. I have no regrets. of the bracket has indeed happened. So now what we're going to do is, if we happen to get a value, and so the selected value at the end of the loop equals 0, and what that means is we actually have to go through the entire loop before we can actually end this. So we perform the minus on the selected cell, in this case becomes 0. However, it says that we've reached 0, but this isn't the end of the loop. So now what we have to go do is shift to the right by 1 in this case. And like it said up here, all values will start at 0. So this is going to start at 0. And now what is going to happen is we have to do subtracting 3 times. The first time, it will actually go negative, so now what we're going to do is, if it creates a negative number, we're going to add 1 instead of subtracting. So that becomes a 1, then we subtract 1, that becomes a 0. And then so subtracting from 0, that will actually become a 1, and this is our selected value. Oh hey, look, we're not at 0 right now, at our selected cell right now. So that means we keep going through another loop. So we've done that once already, so we have 2 more times before we actually have to end it there. So we can subtract 1, creating 0. I can already tell where this is going because they have the same values before. So what's actually going to happen is we're going to shift to the right 2 more times. That's an O. We're going to shift to the right 2 more times because of the loop just going to be repeating the same sequence. So we would subtract 1. This had a value of 1. Shift to the right 1. In this case, that would become 0. And we're currently at here. We'd subtract 1, but that's going to go to a negative. So that becomes a positive. Subtract 1, becoming a 0, and subtracting once again to become a 1 because we can't subtract into negative numbers. Going through it once more, we're going to subtract 1 to that, becoming a 0. Go to the right by 1. In this case, we're at this cell. And then we're going to do the same subtracting 3 times. Become a 1, become a 0, and become a 1. And that's the end of that loop right there. Sometimes it can get a little bit complicated like that, but that's what loops are. It's just repeating itself over again. And that's how sometimes you can get a lot of the cells going up pretty far. Not gonna lie, I've had some pretty big ones. So let's do another one. We said we were 8. Now we're going to shift to the right by 1, as it says according to the symbol. As it says up here, shifting to it's going to move the pointer right by 1. So now we're going to go to a new cell. That'll give us a value of 0, and that is the current cell we are on right now. Like that. Next up, let's take another one. Those of you who don't know many modules on this bomb, you're learning a lot today, hopefully. Shifting to the right once more. Now it's important I keep track of this stuff because, as you can see here, there is indeed always the possibility of there being just a giant wave of moving the pointer left by 1. And if you don't remember your values of the cells from before, you're kind of going to be screwed. And you'll understand why in just a couple minutes. Take a look at listening. my bad. There it is. Okay.
He had defeated the
Our
machine.
next symbol is going to be plus. So we're going to add one to our current cell, as it says right here. Increment the selected value by 1, and we're going to add one there. And just like that, this is the stage. That's literally all there is to it. I'm correct. Yep. We're going to add one more to our selected cell. In this case, this will become 2. Next up, we have double color.
He had defeated the machine. Yes.
Oh, very okay. And now we're going to shift to the left by 1. Now here's where things are going to get a little interesting. So now we're at this position. So now we're going to be affecting that cell right here. And that's it. That's literally all you do for those stages. It's on the table. Now we're going to shift to the right now, so back to the cell that we were at before. And actually, we're going to be solving the module next. Because this is the last module that we have. A full stop will come up, like it said here, and what we need to do is we need to input the value of the current cell that we're on. In this case, our current cell value is a 2, so that is what we will submit. Press 2, it pops up on the display, and press OK.
This was exactly the way, right now,
And just like that,
things were meant to happen.
it solved bomb. And that's pretty much all you have to do. So now, I forgot to bring up a rule that is very important to change the entire number, to change the entire cell value. It's the rule of the comma. The comma, what happens is, you'll take the cell to the value to the left of you. If you're in position 0, take the one to the right of you. You're going to modulo that value by 6 and add 1. Take the character in the serial number indicated by that number you just got. And if its value is a letter, turn it into its alphanumeric position. And that is the value of y. And the value of y must be assigned to the selected cell. So that's what the new cell will eventually become. So I'm going to try and pull up a smaller example here, so that it's more likely we get a rule of the comma in this case. I'm just going to get rid of some of these. I don't need to do another jewel ball as much as I want to. I understand that that might have been a waste of your time, and I'm sorry. So, get rid of listening. Modulo I can keep. And I think that's good. Hopefully I can get it in the span of these 9 modules. And we'll go over this last example, and hopefully you guys can understand how this module works by now. It's like it says, moving a pointer on a one-dimensional array while editing its current value based
In
off
reality,
of
all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always does. Nothing has changed.
And I didn't, so bear with me for a second.
This is the
Let's see
story
if I
of a
can get
man
this
standing.
Wow, I must be the most unluckiest person ever. Okay. You know what? Let's just pop up all the modules that I had enabled before. I don't know why I'm being an idiot like this. How many modules did I have? Well, okay, that's fair. I'm guaranteed to get it. So it's just important to note that each value will start at the value of 0, and the position of 0 will be the beginning of the bomb.
This is the story
just
of a
pay
man
attention to that, and
standing.
just pay attention to these specific rules, and you'll be fine, trust me. So, our first symbol is a plus in this case, and our selected value is position 0 in this case. And plus tells us to increment the selected value by 1. Like so. And now let's solve some modules. Next up, we're going to be shifting to the left by 1. However, looking back at our negative rule, we're going to go to the right instead of the left, because if we were to go to the left, we would simply be going to a negative position, so we're going to go to the right by 1 instead. And this is our current cell now. So now we're going to go to the shifting to the right by 1, which we're going to shift to the right by 1. So this is our new cell that we're on right now. Aha, now another beginning of a bracket here. And the brackets definitely can range from a very long to a very short bracket.
No! Why did you do that?
Is it? Oh, I might have messed up on a solo that I should be able to do. I feel like is it TJL? Yep, it's TJL. So now we have now we have a negative symbol, but we can't do anything because the looping is not complete. Taking a look at the rest of the modules. We have a plus now. Now, if you pay attention, those won't necessarily cancel out because we're at a value of 0. Let's not forget.
But there is no answer.
Really?
How could there possibly be?
Now we're going to be shifting to the right by... Oh wow, this is going to be an interesting loop.
Yes!
Plus... Oh bugger, and that actually, like, finished the loop before the last solve. Let's solve the rest of the modules here. Shifting to the left by 1. Yeah, this loop is going to finish before I solve all the modules. Or it might not, I might be wrong. Still, it's not going to leave that much room. Split is greater than omelet. information is on the table. Restrict, but otherwise we press treat. And that's the end of the bracket. So now we can actually perform what this module is asking us to do. And remember, we need to calculate how many times we can loop before we can actually start it, because we need to be able to figure out what our range is. We have 3 batteries here, so 3 batteries plus 1. That'll give us the ability to loop 4 times in this case. So, oh boy, we're in for nasty. So, remember that if it does equal 0 at the end of the loop, then we can stop. However, this is not going to be a really interesting. This is going to be a really interesting case. So, we're going to subtract by 1, but like we said before, creating a negative number, we're going to add 1 instead of subtracting it. We're going to add 1, and then we're going to add another 1, creating a 2. We're going to shift to the left by 1, in this case, creating a 0. And then we're going to add 1 to that cell, and then we're going to shift back to the left, creating this as our current cell. This is our current cell right now. That was one time we performed the loop. Let's do it again. Because our value that is in our current cell right now is not at a value of 0. And I don't think it will be at this point, because there's no possible way in human history that it will be 0. So, subtracting 1, and then adding 1, we're going to shift to the left, view our current cell right now, add 1 to U, and then shift back to this cell. We've done that twice, and we're probably going to be doing it for the next 2 times. As you can see, it isn't decreasing whatsoever. So we're going to add 2 more to U. Actually, no, we're going to keep U the same because U don't change. And we're going to add 2 more to U, and this is where it's going to end at. Just like that. See, when you have looping, you can easily solve this, because if you start to see a pattern, you can figure it out pretty easily and cut a lot of your work down, to be fairly honest. So that's the importance right there, is just being able to figure out how you can do it in a faster way instead of doing each calculation billions and billions of times, because that's going to be a pain after a while, trust me. Now let's take a look at double color. 3 batteries in this case.
Yes!
Oh, come on, I had it.
Yes!
And then our final value, our final cell is going to be a minus. Our final statement is going to be a minus. So let's perform the minus to that 1 is going to make it a 1. Finally, let's do divisible numbers and close out this bomb. And I'm sorry I didn't get an example of Brainf of the comma rule, but essentially, instead the value y must be assigned to the selected cell. So that's what it happens here. It's just really easy follow through these steps, and you should be fine. I believe in you guys. Divisible by 3. And now our full stop appears, and remember, if that does happen before in a case, you actually have to submit the cell that you're on like you would at the end. So in this case, our selected cell right now has a value of 1, so that is what we will submit.
This was exactly the way. Right now.
As always, thank you guys for watching.
I
I hope you enjoy. Stay crazy, stay cool, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.